Hey there, Angel for Abix Gaming with a new video for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. In this video I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to defeat Gilgamesh without sweating that much. In this video I'm not going to gatekeep any secrets. We'll go through party composition, gear, materials, and general advice for the fight. But first of all, if you haven't watched my Tempering Trials video, I strongly suggest you give it a watch first. There I explain the basics of why my lineup is like this and the equipment that I use. Trust me, it's worth a watch, but if you want a TLDR, I'll do a quick recap in the party composition just ahead. There are timestamps in the description of the video and YouTube player as well, in case you want to jump to any part of this guide in particular, but without further ado, let's jump to the party composition. For this fight, I'm sticking to the lineup I use on the armor tempering battles. For damage boosting, we got Tifa, Barret is a healer, and Cloud is a slayer. Barret always comes to rescue by using the overcharge ability to quickly fill your ATB bar and cast Curaga with Magnify to bring everyone to top shape. Tifa's mission is basically to ensure we almost always have 300% stagger to ensure that you're making the most out of those damage windows while Gilgamesh is staggered. Finally, Cloud will rely on the Limit Siphon ability to fill his limit break bar and unleash it constantly. Now that we've talked about the party, here's an overview of my equipment and materials used for this fight, and shortly after I will detail the necessary materials that you don't want to miss on your loadout. There are a lot of materials that can be omitted from what I show you just right now, but I do believe that the next ones are absolutely essential. Gilgamesh's main weakness is fire, so equip an elemental+fire combo in the attack slots of one of your party members. Even when he has a lot of possible detrimental status effects that can affect him, like Deprotect, Deshell, Debrave or Defaith, Poison seems to be, in my experience, the most effective one to deal a good chunk of passive damage. The rhythm of the battle is very quick, and relying on only one healer can be a little bit risky, so I recommend equipping a pair of item economizer Materias to help with the healing or MP restoration for the whole party. Limit Siphon and Limit Support Materials pair perfectly with the Draconic Rings and enhance Expeditionary Metal to build up constant limit breaks that will pressure or deal massive damage to Gilgamesh. A Dispel Materia is absolutely necessary to break the barrage of buffs that Gilgamesh unleashes with his Genji Shield ability every now and then during the fight. For Summon Materials I would go with Bahamna for raw power, Phoenix for a more cautious approach, or Kujata to exploit the fire weakness of Gilgamesh. Now let's move on to the fight. If I, a 36-year-old ancient millennial, could almost defeat Gilgamesh on my very first try using this loadout that I show you here, even if I fumbled miserably and had to try only 2 more times, I'm pretty confident that you will do better on this fight. The flow of the battle goes like this. In the first phase of the fight, Gilgamesh will summon every single weapon on his inventory one by one, starting with the Muramasa, then the Rune Axe, Excalibur, and so on. With each weapon he draws, his power and moveset will increase, so watch out. The second phase starts when all of his weapons are drawn and he uses the Swordsman's Supreme ability, This will trigger a countdown from 5 down until he reaches 0, when he'll unleash a devastating attack that will knock most of your party members. He'll continue to do this until he gets defeated or your party is wiped out. Remember when we talked about all of his multiple weapons? Well, by blocking some of his attacks at the precise moment or dealing massive damage with limit breaks, you'll force him to drop some of them, reducing his power momentarily and pressuring him. Then we build up the stagger meter, and upon staggering him, we do a whole 300% stagger ritual with Tifa to try to do the most damage as possible. This sounds very straightforward, but in my case, as I'm not good enough with precise blocking or parrying, my only way to avoid defeat was to constantly be on the move, switching characters and healing. Barret did most of the hard work with his provoke and steadfast block materia. Also, the Magnify plus cure materia is very helpful to heal the whole party and even revive everyone when everything seemed lost with the revive materia. So Barret is the MVP. And the problem is Gilgamesh is too fast. It is really hard to memorize and react to all of his attacks. Some require blocking, others to be evaded, and some, like the Genji shield, the use of Dispel magic. Now, what's the strategy here for dumb players like me? Two things. One, I used the biomagic to inflict passive chip damage to Gilgamesh, and two, I waited for the limit bar to fill using Cloud's Limit Siphon so I could unleash his level 3 limit break as often as possible, relying on the Draconic Rings, Limit Siphon, and Limit Support Materias. The rest was just me nailing every now and then a block or an evade, but it was basically brute forcing my way through healing and good character rotation during the battle. I know it may sound overwhelming, but even with all of this I managed to almost defeat Gilgamesh on my very first try going blind. 2 more tries later that fight was done, and while capturing some extra gameplay for this video, I went for the whole fight again, and things were a lot easier knowing the poison and fire weaknesses and all of the tips that I've shared with you right now. So I'm pretty sure with all the information you have in this video, you'll defeat Gilgamesh probably in your first try, and even more swiftly than I did to finally unlock the last transmitter chip to craft some of the most powerful accessories in the game. So, good luck with the fight, and I wish you the best. Be sure to check out more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth videos that I will be uploading to his playlist right here as I progress through the game. But for now, I hope this was useful, thank you for watching, and keep enjoying the game.